Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily Jones. I'm a former paparazzi consultant. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. And don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment if there's anything that you have insight on. I love reading your comments. And if you can make it to the end of the video, even better. YouTube loves watch time. So today my video is about a case that was filed in February of 2022. It was filed by Patricia Shevlin, who is a paparazzi elite, and she filed it against Tracy Reed, Geraldine Souza, and Savannah Marie. Now, sadly, I think Savannah Marie was caught in the crossfire, and that's my personal opinion. I think she was caught in the crossfire of this. So I'm going to review the complaint with you guys so you guys can see what this complaint says, okay? So here we go. So Patricia Shevlin hired an attorney to file a complaint against Tracy, Geraldine, and Savannah Marie. The reason for this complaint is because she believes that they acted in concert, so they acted together as part of a joint and coordinated campaign to defame and destroy her reputation. Upon information and belief, the false and defamatory statements published by the defendants have caused her harm. This court has jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. So here are the allegations. At the time of the material that was presented to her attorney, Patricia Shevlin was and continues to be an independent contractor, not a business owner, independent contractor of paparazzi jewelry, herein known after as paparazzi. Paparazzi has a very strict rules for compliance for its independent contractors. These rules govern how independent contractors can market, advertise, and sell paparazzi jewelry. If they are found in compliance, paparazzi will terminate your contract. Yes, that is true. It's part of the policies and procedures. Prior to September 28th, 2021, plaintiff Patty Shevlin had a successful business as an independent contractor for paparazzi, and she was among the top 1% of all independent contractors selling paparazzi jewelry. Defendants Tracy Reed, Geraldine Souza were previously independent contractors who sold paparazzi jewelry. Both defendants Reed and Souza were terminated as independent contractors by paparazzi for violation of those items. Tracy and Geraldine talked about that back in the day. You know, back when the Crack the Crown group started, okay? Prior to September 28th, Tracy and Jerry and Savannah began making videos about paparazzi jewelry. Now, Savannah started making videos about paparazzi jewelry back in 2019 because she called out paparazzi jewelry for not having a proper income disclosure compensation plan. And because she did that, paparazzi came out with one. If you search for an income disclosure prior to that, you won't find one because it doesn't exist, okay? But they did start doing something called tea time, which a lot of us former paparazzi consultants are familiar with. Tea time was something that Tracy and Jerry did for quite some time. Okay, beginning in September, the defendants, during their discussions of paparazzi jewelry, began making statements about plaintiff during their tea time videos. I believe that is true. I haven't gone back and watched all these tea time videos, but they are linked here in the lawsuit, and we can pull them up, but I'm not going to because I don't want to give any more fuel to the fire. I just want to read this complaint as it is, okay? So she talks about this particular video that's on Facebook still, because I did click the link earlier and it is still there. So in that video, Reed and Susan made false allegations against Patty Shevlin. Specifically, told her viewers not to worry about those who had died from COVID-19 and they had been called home. Now, if she did say that, that's her opinion. She's entitled to it, okay? But Patricia claims these allegations were false. Okay. The false allegations were particularly harmful to Patricia Shevlin because people in her community who had lost loved ones and family members due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, we all have. We have all lost friends and family members to this pandemic. Further statements gave the false impression that plaintiff was encouraging others to disregard the severity of COVID-19. I don't think that's the case because a lot of us who were in the Crack the Crown group did take the pandemic seriously. Paparazzi, the corporation, I don't think they did. Now, this is my opinion, and I'm going to keep saying that. This is my opinion. I don't think paparazzi took the pandemic seriously. If they had, they would not have held their convention. If they had taken it seriously, they would have kept people with their masks on, and they would have engaged in social distancing. During the pandemic, when the convention was held, where people did lose their lives, the Delta variant was going strong, okay? Plaintiff received numerous questions and angry comments from her followers and fellow independent contractors about these false statements. Now, we'll get to that later. After publication of this video, they invited her to join them in their next video to set the record straight. Now, during that time, they asked Savannah Marie to moderate. And this is where I say Savannah Marie got caught in the crossfire, because they asked her to moderate this conversation. Honestly, that is where she got stuck in this whole mess. And this is, honestly, it is a mess, okay? So on October 2nd, on Tea Time, they asked Jerry and Savannah and Tracy, they started talking and speaking negatively about paparazzi jewelry and its compliance policies. Yeah, they probably did. Again, I haven't watched the video. I don't want to go back and give more fuel to the fire. I'm just reading the complaint as it is, okay? After they tried to set the record straight, they kept making those videos about paparazzi jewelry, and they continued to make disparaging statements about the plaintiff. Okay. For example, on December 14th, defendants published a video on their platforms which they accused the plaintiff of violating paparazzi compliance standards, mocking or belittling a person who suffered a stroke. I don't remember that. But there is a video that you could probably watch, but again, I'm not going to give more fuel to the fire. Okay. On December 21st, this was 5 days after paparazzi took their lead and nickel-free claims down. Okay? Because they took the lead and nickel-free claims down December 16th, 2021. Okay? They published a video to their platforms in which they accused the plaintiff of knowingly selling toxic jewelry. Okay. Prior to December 16th, 2021, none of us knew that jewelry was toxic. We believed what paparazzi had told us. Paparazzi had told us that the jewelry was lead and nickel free, when it wasn't. Okay? Now, the Crack the Crown group had pieces of jewelry tested and confirmed that this jewelry was in fact not lead and nickel free. But I don't think they accused this plaintiff specifically of knowingly selling toxic jewelry because none of us in paparazzi knew that it was until those testing results came out. Okay, back to number 24. They accuse her of knowingly selling toxic jewelry, violating paparazzi compliance standards, which is making disparaging remarks about people suffering from postpartum depression and other disabilities, and stating the person had a miscarriage because they didn't pray hard enough. Now, I don't remember if that happened, but there is a video on YouTube, which I will do a deep dive on, where she talks to the Bling King, and we'll do that in a later video, okay? Because it's still published on YouTube, so it's fair game in my humble opinion. Further, defendants accuse plaintiff of taking advantage of autistic children by marking her jewelry as fidget jewelry. I don't remember that either. And there's a video. I'm not going to watch it. On January 5th, 2022, they published another video in which they accused the plaintiff of knowingly selling toxic jewelry and suggest that the willful ignorance could harm children. Again, prior to December 16th, 2022, all paparazzi consultants thought that this jewelry was lead and nickel free. Okay? The statements will hereinafter be referred to as false statements. So those are all the false statements. The statements contained in these videos are false, as plaintiff has never knowingly sold toxic jewelry. Like I said before, none of us knew this. Paparazzi advertised it to their consultants as lead and nickel free when it wasn't. Okay? This is why paparazzi has some class action lawsuits against them, because they sold this stuff to the general public stating it was lead and nickel free and Prop 65 compliant. Okay? Further, plaintiff Patty Shevlin has never violated the compliance rules of paparazzi. She has never made disparaging remarks about people who have suffered from postpartum depression, experienced a stroke, or had other mental or physical disabilities. She has never stated and does not believe that people have suffered injuries, medical complications, or passed away because they had not prayed hard enough. Finally, plaintiff has never marketed jewelry as a misleading, deceptive way to try and take advantage of individuals with autism or any other medical condition. When viewed together, the false statements published by the defendants, Reed and Souza, are disparaging and impugn Shevlin's ethical conduct, reputation, and injuriously affected Shevlin in her trade and profession. The false statements were published to harm her professional reputation and deter others from doing business with her by asserting plaintiff engages in fraudulent and dangerous conduct, demeans those around her, belittles people with disabilities, and tries to deceive, otherwise taking advantage of people with disabilities. I don't know if that's true. That has to be proven in court. But again, there are videos linked in this complaint. Contrary to the false statements, plaintiff has established a reputation as understanding principled seller. Paparazzi Jewelry has never sold toxic jewelry and has never violate compliance rules of her employer. Now, I love this statement. She refers to paparazzi as her employer because she is, in fact, a 1099 employee of paparazzi. Okay? She claims she has never harassed people with disabilities, stated or insinuated that people died or became ill because they did not pray hard enough. Again, I don't know. And I don't want to know. Okay? Apparently someone's calling me, so I gotta pause for a second because I'm expecting a call. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so we were talking about how it's her employer. Yes, it is her employer. None of you are independent business owners. You are employees of paparazzi. So, on 35, upon information and belief, the false statements have been viewed by prospective clients and current clients and prospective contractors for Patricia Shevlin. Now, this one, I feel, because of paparazzi's deceptive acts and by taking the lead and nickel free claims down, and because of the negative press they received from the convention where people did die from COVID, I think that honestly hurt all paparazzi consultants across the board, not just Patricia Shevlin. Because I think what's hurt paparazzi is their inability to own up to the fact that this took place, okay? Because paparazzi hasn't taken ownership for that. And then, during this time, a lot of lawsuits started coming down the pike, suing paparazzi for the lead and nickel free claims being removed. People were quitting paparazzi because of this. I don't think the Crack the Crown group and the videos helped, but they, this is something that has been coming for quite a while. Okay? It just has been. The anti-MLM movement has been growing consistently, since 2019. Paparazzi didn't have a lot of negative, press. I mean, when I joined paparazzi, I did my research, I did my homework, and when I was looking into it back in 2018, I couldn't find anything negative about paparazzi. Now, Now you type in, is paparazzi an MLM? Is paparazzi a scam? There are tons of blogs, tons of articles, tons of things out there speaking out against paparazzi. Okay? This, it didn't help, but it didn't hurt. Sorry, pharmacy again. Okay, I'm just going to say, getting your biological medication is a pain in the patoot. Alright, so let me get back to, where was I? Here we are. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so we're on number 36. So Sousa and Reed published false statements about Shevlin with actual malice, as Reed and Sousa knew, or showed reckless disregard for the truth, that the statements were false. Outside of the defamatory videos, defendants continue to repeat the defamatory statements about the plaintiff and have encouraged others to engage in harassing behavior, specifically on Clubhouse and other social media platforms. Defendants published another video to discuss paparazzi experiences. One or more participants voiced threats to visit plaintiff's store and to physically harm the plaintiff. Defendants did not discourage such discourse and even audibly laughed at the harassing statements. Now, I too have been harassed. Okay? So I know exactly what she's talking about. I haven't been harassed to the level that I believe she was. Okay? I've received negative emails, threats on Facebook, which is why my Facebook is completely private. I've received doxing, where people have Googled my phone number because it's out there because I was a realtor. And I've been signed up for subscription services and all this other stuff, which, I didn't sign up for. That's why I have ID protection and legal services and all this other stuff. But yes, I have said it before and I will say it again. Clubhouse is toxic, okay? Being on Clubhouse is full of toxicity. And, as part of the reason why I left the Crack the Crown group and all the Clubhouse stuff is because it was a time suck. It was full of negative, terrible behavior. And I remember I recorded a video about a year ago. I'm like, have we become them? Have we become the negative, culty-like people when we, with the Crack the Crown group? Did we leave one cult for another? And I still feel that way, okay? The reason I feel that way is because why can't people just be real? Why can't people just be honest? Yes, paparazzi dug their own grave, but the behavior of some of the people in the Crack the Crown group, it's disgusting, okay? And I kind of agree with number 36, okay? As a direct and proximate result of the false statements published by the defendant, she has suffered a great interruption in her daily life and damage to her reputation. I don't know that to be fact, but that is her allegation and that is her complaint, okay? The false statements published by the defendants were seen by numerous people in the paparazzi community, and the plaintiff has devoted a significant amount of time, resources, dealing with questions related to these statements and defending her reputation to her employer and to those within the community. Now, she referenced that her employer is paparazzi. So she had to prove to her employer that she wasn't doing what they were accusing her of doing. She is still an active consultant to this day. Okay? Alright, so on to 38. As a direct and proximate result of these attacks on Shevlin sustained mental distress, fear for her safety, and living in fear that the false statements would be seen and believed by people within her community and cause her to lose her ability to sell paparazzi jewelry. Yeah. Because paparazzi will cancel you for disparaging remarks. Okay? Thankfully, she has not lost her ability to sell paparazzi jewelry. Now, number 39. Further, as a direct and proximate result of the defendant's conduct, plaintiff have suffered significant financial harm and injury, including but not limited to a 25% decrease in revenue and sales, adverse business consequences, and other general damages, more fully detailed below. Now, I believe paparazzi jewelry has seen a significant decrease in sales because, and this is my humble opinion, 1, the quality of the jewelry has gone way downhill. 2, they removed the lead nickel free claims, and I think it's harmed everybody across the board with paparazzi. Okay, after those lead nickel free claims came down, a lot of people quit the company, which probably took a hit to her downline, which in turn, she suffered a loss in her commission revenue, her bonus, her income, so to speak. So, first claim for relief. Shevlin repeats and realleges that each and every allegation above is set forth. False statements are of concerning plaintiff, and they are reasonably understood to communicate the statements regarding her. False statements are false and defamatory, and they impugn Shevlin's conduct and interactions which did not occur and therefore do not represent real events. Okay. Defamatory meaning of the false statements is apparent from the face of the publications without the aid of extrinsic, I can't say that word, proof, and they are intended to do indeed disparage and injuriously affect her trade and profession. The false statements, among other things, falsely accuse, either directly or by innuendo, insinuation, or inference, that Shevlin of criminal, immoral, unprofessional, incompetent, and or unethical conduct, including the conduct specific to her trade and profession. I don't know if that's true or not. The false statements tend to harm her reputation by lowering her otherwise good standing in the mind of a reasonable member of her community. Again, don't know if that's true or not. That has to be proven in a court of law. This is her complaint against them. Okay, defendants are authored and published the false statements regarding the plaintiff with the knowledge that the assertions contained are false with reckless disregard as to the truthfulness. They were intentionally communicated to the public in bad faith and with actual malice. Again, I don't know if it was in bad faith. They were sharing their opinions, and everyone is entitled to their opinions, but I don't know if during the Crack the Crown group, if they said this is our opinion or this is our perception. I don't know. But, again, I think Savannah Marie was caught in the crossfire of all of this. And it's really sad. Really, really sad. Plaintiffs have suffered reputational harm, loss of revenue, mitigation expenses, mental anguish, distress, humiliation, and other injuries as a result of what they've done. That's sad, but it's probably true. She has incurred damages as a direct proximate result to the false statements. As a direct and proximate result of the false statement, she has suffered a significant reputational harm and sustained actual damages, including mental anguish, loss of capital revenue, lost productivity and other expenses incurred, the loss of intangible assets in the amounts exceeding $75,000, with the exact amount to be proven at trial. Okay, so she's going to have to prove that her downline, and this is my opinion, okay, I think she's going to have to prove that her downline, the people that were in her direct downline, quit because of these statements, or if they quit because of the lead nickel free claims that paparazzi removed from their website. You have to prove that's the reason why people quit. Not because of what someone said, but because of those lead nickel free claims. So that is something I think she would have to prove. Then you would have to prove why people stopped buying the jewelry. Well, in my case, you only need so much jewelry, you guys. I mean, yes, style and trends change, but just like, with shoes, you only need so many pairs of shoes, and anything above 4 or 5 pairs is too much. Too many pairs of shoes. You need a pair of athletic shoes, a pair of hiking boots, a fancy pair, a fashionable pair, and, a pair of sneakers or sandals. Okay? Anything above and beyond that is just, in my humble opinion, wasteful. Okay? I mean, I have 3 pairs of boots, 2 of which I hardly ever wear anymore. I have 2 pairs of athletic shoes, 2 pairs of flip-flops, and honestly, a lot of them I think I need to put in the minimalist box and take them over to Goodwill. In fact, I might do that after this. I might go through my closet again and get rid of things that I haven't used or worn in months. Okay, so back to this. This is the second claim for relief. False light. Plaintiff repeats and realleges everything above. Defendant's false statements placed her in a false light, including but not limited to describing her conduct and business practices. Defendants authored and published false statements without authorization, privilege, or in clear abuse of any privilege which otherwise might apply. False statements made and published would be highly offensive to a reasonable person and continue to be highly offensive because they have been unreasonably attacking her conduct and character in a manner that exceeds the bounds of decency. It's a lot of legalese there, but I don't disagree with that. Defendants authored and published the false statements with actual malice. Now you have to actually prove that it was actual malice, and I don't believe it was. Again, this is my opinion. I don't believe it was with malice. I think they were just proving that people who are, and this is my words here, drinking the Kool-Aid and supporting a company because, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. But in turn, I think paparazzi is biting the hands that feed them all the time. All right. So the defendant authored and published the false statements with actual malice and the knowledge that the impressions created therefrom are false, and they acted with reckless disregard to their falsity. Again, that has to be proven in a court of law. Defendant's false statements placing plaintiff in a false light are intended to have caused the plaintiff injury, including ongoing mental anguish and suffering. Everyone has different ways of dealing with things. One thing I do when I'm being attacked is I will shut myself off from everybody and take a breather. That's just something that I do, okay? But I don't know if you can do that when people are constantly attacking you. And back when I was invited to go on Crack the Crown, they watched some of my old videos on YouTube, and one of my old videos, I said, you can be feisty, but be respectful, okay? I wasn't attacking Jerry. I was saying you can have sass, you can be brassy, you can be feisty, but be respectful. And I believe I was getting mad because they kept saying that the Mormon religion is a cult. Not all Mormons are culty. And the religion is not a cult. It's a religion. Just like fundamentalist Christians are a religion. Evangelical Christians, it's a religion. Baptist, Protestant, Quaker, all of those things are religions. Jewish, it's a religion. It's not a cult, it's just people in their network believe what they believe, and I don't believe it's a cult. But someone kept saying that, and I said, please stop saying that, because it's not true. And I said, you can be as feisty as you want to be, but you need to be respectful. How would you like it if I said that about you and your religion? You probably wouldn't like it at all. But the same thing is there's a lot of people that follow certain people, and they worship them. We're not gods. We're human beings. We're flawed. We're not perfect. None of us are. But, words have consequences. Actions matter. And the fact that, this was going on, I agree. It's harmful, and it does cause, a little bit of mental anguish and suffering. So, like I said, you got to be mindful. Like when I watch the videos, I'm not attacking the person. I'm attacking what they're saying about the business practices, and I know that I compliment them on things. I mean, like Erica Cole has a smart business acumen. She's extremely smart. She's got a good business head on her shoulders. The other person, Andrea Hutchinson, she's got a decent following. She's got a decent downline. At least she supports those, and she does do actual training with the people in her downline. But there are some people that are paparazzi upline elites that are more focused on name dropping and showing off their clout than they are in training. Like the TK in the car wash video. He doesn't want anything to do with you if you didn't let him sponsor you directly. He said that, not me. Okay? Alright. Third claim for relief. Interference with business advantage. Okay. Prior to the publication of the false statements, the plaintiff had a valid business relationship with her downlines and had a valid business relationship with long-term customers and purchasers of paparazzi jewelry. Now, this was, after the lead and nickel free claims came down, a lot of people stood up and took notice of that. And I think that the Crack the Crown group, they were really good at pointing that out, that the jewelry is no longer considered lead and nickel free. Okay? I don't think that directly hurt her business. Again, it has to be proven in a court of law. But a lot of people, after those claims came down, a lot of people stood up and took pause and thought, okay, do I want to keep buying this? I've been lied to for 10 years. Do I want to keep buying something that's no longer considered lead and nickel free? No. Okay? Prior to these false statements, and as a result of defendants' prior involvement with paparazzi jewelry, they had knowledge of the business relationships. Okay, I believe they may have. I don't know. I can't prove that. Defendants intentionally published false statements online in an attempt to destroy her reputation and business relationship. Again, I don't think that was the intent, but that's how it was taken, okay? I don't know if they did it with malice. That has to be proven in court of law. As a result, she has suffered a loss, and she's still asking for $75,000 or the exact amount to be proven at trial. Fourth claim for relief, conspiracy. Okay, so defendants Tracy, Jerry, and Savannah acted maliciously and in active concert in publishing the false statements regarding the plaintiff. Now again, I don't feel that Savannah Marie acted maliciously. I feel that Savannah Marie was brought in and kind of got brought into a not so good situation. Okay? And I know that relationships soured between Savannah and Jerry. I know that Savannah, because she says all the time, she's still really good friends with Tracy. And Tracy is an attorney, and she is, fighting her own fight, and I'm proud of that fact. But I don't think that they acted in concert because, again, they brought Patty Shevlin in to tell her story. And she did, but she still felt attacked. And I'm not going to go back and watch that, but if that's how she felt, that's how she felt. She's entitled to her feelings. She's entitled to feel how she feels, okay? Defendants acted upon and agreed upon and planned amongst one another to defame her. I don't think so. But, again, that has to be proven in a court of law. She claims that they placed her in a false life and interfered with her business advantage. Again, I don't think so. I think that came from paparazzi corporate directly when they took the lead nickel free claims down. But again, that's my opinion of this whole thing. Because a lot of people, after those lead nickel free claims came down, suffered a loss, okay? And a lot of people quit. People are still quitting this company. To this day, people are still quitting. Because back when this lawsuit was filed, it was like 12 people told me they had quit because of finding my 10 Reasons Why I Quit video and telling me they quit because of lead and nickel free. We're up to almost 730. I'm one person away from 730 people quitting this company for a myriad of reasons. There are so many reasons why people quit. One, and I'll just list some of the top. One, lead and nickel free claims came down. Two, they were spending more than they were selling, and they had massive amounts of inventory that they were told to buy because of the power of 15. 2, they weren't receiving proper support and training from their sponsor and or upline. 3, the lead nickel free claims. 4, people quit because of the COVID convention. People are quitting because the quality of the jewelry has gone into the toilet. These are some of the main reasons why people are quitting. Other people are quitting because they're seeing stuff that they had in their inventory 4 years ago and it's making a comeback on the website. So this is a common theme that's happening with paparazzi, okay? And yeah, people who have a significant downline are feeling that crunch. They are feeling that it's affecting them, okay? So the prayer for relief is this. She wants issuance by the court asking for the false claims to come down. Now, in the summer, I believe Savannah Marie did an Instagram video where she publicly apologized to Patricia Shevlin, and I think she did. And I think this lawsuit is why that public apology was made. And again, I don't think Savannah Marie was malicious, and I don't think she coerced or set out to do what is stated in this lawsuit. You know, she was asked to be a moderator. She was brought into the fire, you know, and because of her friendships with these people, she got coiled into the problem. Okay, so the defendants are: 1, prohibited from creating or publishing statements regarding plaintiff which defame, disparage, or contain libelous statements regarding the plaintiff. Yeah, that should be duh. Ordered to take all actions necessary to remove all of the false statements published from the internet. Now, the links in this lawsuit, some of them are still active, some of them are not. Okay? And let's see, including but not limiting to requesting removal of the false statements from Facebook of all defendants and all groups and defendants they're associated with. Now, I went back on YouTube and I looked. The Crack the Crown video where they had the moderated thing with Savannah Marie, that was taken down off of the Crack the Crown group and off of Savannah Marie's channel. There was one where there was a video, I believe, where Patricia was talking and she was sitting on the toilet, I believe. That video was taken down. I don't know what was said in that video, but all of these videos, they've been removed. So that has taken place, okay? Actual and or compensation damages in the amount to be proven at trial, pre- and post-litigation interest at the maximum rate provided by law, and reasonable attorney's fees and costs, okay? So that was filed by her attorney, and I say good for her. So there's Dave and Lily. So initial disclosures were filed June 30th, 2022. They had until June 30th to file them. The parties shall complete, in fact, all expert discovery by February 22nd, 2023. So this is still an ongoing case. It hasn't been dismissed. It hasn't been adjudicated. It's still going on. Okay, so they have to do a status report on their discovery by February 22nd of this year. Okay, and if they are doing depositions, they need to be done by April 28th, 2023. Okay, so that's what's going on. It's still ongoing, needless to say. Okay, so that's what's happening with that. Now, I go to look at paparazzi, and I look at Patricia Shevlin. She doesn't have a lot of stuff, but when I search for her name, there is a video that's all the way down here. This one. Patricia Shevlin and the King of Bling Leadership Lounge. This was over a year ago. And the King of Bling, he does this whole thing, I believe, starts with a prayer. Okay? But I'm going to watch this video and react to it. I mean, it's quite long. It's an hour long. But here is a paparazzi video. There's somebody in their hospital bed in this Zoom meeting. And this was recorded and it's on the internet, and we'll read what it says. It says, as expected, Patty was absolutely a blessing to talk to. She gave us some great insight on algorithms through her YouTube videos. As today we discussed her story, but also shared some valuable tips on speaking your business and had a great tip for anyone, especially new consultants, on one and dones. How you can effectively show jewelry that promotes the growth of your team through consistently being sold out, and discussions on the mindset and effective communication. So this is one that, yes, I am going to watch this and react to it because it's public, and that is what I'm going to do this year. Is I'm going to watch and react to public YouTube videos. But that's what's going on with this whole lawsuit thing. So if you have any comments, leave them down below. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, because yes, YouTube loves watch time. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please think about doing so. And I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have an email, or if you have a comment you want to make, my email is right below my name there, or my face there. Ha-ha! Feel free to email me your comments or thoughts, and I just hope that this whole thing gets resolved and that everybody's happy with the resolution of this lawsuit. But I've just shared my opinion, as is my First Amendment right, and I have shown you what has been filed, and I hope you guys got a little insight. So thanks so much. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. Bye.